I'm Rex Rogosh, and let's queer up justice. Lawsuit alleges PepsiCo fired employee after anti-LGBTQ plus harassment complaints. A former PepsiCo employee has filed a federal lawsuit alleging the company fired her after she reported nearly 2 years of anti-LGBTQ plus harassment and took protected family medical leave. The lawsuit, filed July 24th in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, alleges the employee endured repeated harassment between October 2023 and November 2025. According to the complaint, the victim is described as a gay man who uses female pronouns. The co-workers allegedly told her they can't stand gay people, used a homophobic slur, criticized her voice, and refused to share a restroom with her. One person said he did not like gay people, quote, like you, end quote, before removing his safety vest, which the employee took as an indication that he wanted to fight. The employee, described in court filings as a gay woman who uses female pronouns, a gay man who uses female pronouns, said she reported the incident to her manager, Human Resources, and the company's ethics hotline, but alleges no corrective action was taken. She later took leave under the Family and Medical Leave Act to care for her husband. During that leave, Human Resources informed her that a coworker had accused her of inappropriate conduct during an earlier meeting. She denied the allegations. After returning to work in December 2025, she was terminated for allegedly harassing another employee. The lawsuit calls the allegation a, quote, false and pretextual reason for her dismissal. The lawsuit alleges PepsiCo violated the Family and Medical Leave Act and Title VII of the Civil Rights by fostering a hostile work environment, discrimination, and retaliation. PepsiCo has not publicly responded to the allegations. So, unfortunately, with at-will work states, you can be fired for any reason at any time. And I'm not saying that what PepsiCo did was correct, and I believe that the lawsuit needs to happen because we need to find out what actually happened. If HR and management did not respond to the allegations that were brought forth and nothing was done to the people who were doing the harassment, that's problem number one. If they terminated her and just said, hey, sorry, you're terminated, technically there's nothing wrong with that. If you're at an at-will work state, you can be terminated for any reason at any time.
Well, to clarify, because lawyers like to remind me, because I normally bring that up like this, there's no justice in the world. They're
right.
Actually, they can only terminate you for a legal reason. Like they can't do just because they can terminate you in general. If they still do it in a way for an illegal reason, they can still get in trouble, and a lot of people make a lot of money pointing that out.
Correct. However, for instance, if this was in the state of New York specifically states they can be fired for any reason. They don't have to give a reason to fire.
They don't, but big companies love to come up with paperwork, and they tend to get themselves in trouble half the time.
Correct.
And from my travels in HR over the years, there are questions, and hopefully we'll find out more about the story, but I'm wondering if a collective bargaining unit was involved in representing either employee or employees. It doesn't say anything about what type of investigation took place.
Correct.
So my question is, for the person who ended up getting fired, were they called in? Was there an appropriate investigation done? It appears that if the lawsuit is accurate, the man who identifies as she, did not get the same treatment.
Right, and that's what I'm wondering.
Sure.
If she has actual evidence that there were reports placed with HR and management and that there were no investigations, then there's problem number one. Harassment unfortunately happens. If there's nothing against it, I've been in situations in big corporations where I was harassed. I did bring it up to my management. They said, we'll handle it. Harassment stopped. I don't know how it was handled.
Well, just to complement that, one of the things that management should have done for any of the parties is to acknowledge that the matter has been addressed. If the behavior continues, please go through the proper channels. We encourage you to put it in writing and make a statement.
Which is also why I hope that she actually kept the receipts.
Agreed.
So for any kind, I do workplace mediation, which is, you have HR problems, workplace disputes. Always keep the paperwork trail. Download those emails if you're harassed,
Keep your receipts.
keep your receipts, and also there's the it's not just straight up homophobic firing. This is a violation. If they actually violated the Family and Medical Leave Act,
Correct.
that is an illegal firing.
Correct.
And second of all, I want to point out that this kind of thing, this abrupt firing could not happen until this country embrace unions and collective bargaining once
Thank
again.
you.
Yes.
This kind of behavior where big bosses who are nameless and faceless and probably in the HR office, 1,000 miles away, should not be dictating the fate of these people's employment. There should be representative on the ground. They should be properly represented and internally adjudicated even before it goes into the federal courts.
As a former union rep, for the union rep at the task force of all things, but the thing that makes I did check ahead of the story to see if this is a union. PepsiCo, some places it's partially unionized, so this may or may not. The fact that I didn't see any union statements in the story, and they weren't talking about dealing with a union rep during that first allegation, because if a union rep got the slip while someone's on leave of, oh, we remember all of a sudden this thing you did when you were here.
Right.
The union rep would have freaked out. They would be like, what do you mean? Of course, they had plenty of time to discuss it. What do you mean they waited till they conveniently, when they're on leave? We think you're just trying to push her out because she's on leave. And half the time the company would maybe continue to pursue it. Maybe they wouldn't, but there'd be a whole process of arbitration before you get to the actual termination. The fact that it didn't happen this way and they just pushed her out while she's on leave is a strong reminder of why unions are so important.
There's a lot of information here that still needs to be uncovered. So hopefully
discovery will be glorious.
Discovery will be glorious.
Exactly. And folks, I'll close it out on this. When in doubt, assume the corporation's being a bad actor. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.